Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I am Suri Chairani Amri from IPSE 2019. Now I will present to you about simple machine and integrated science. Let's get started. So, what is a simple machine? A simple machine is a mechanical device that changes the direction and or magnitude of a force. So in general, they can be defined as the simplest mechanism that use leverage, or also it called mechanical advantage to multiply force, or in physics, you do work anytime you want to use force to move an object. So like that, we move to the next slide. Okay, machines are objects that make it easier for people to do works. But not at all machines have lots of parts of motors. Simple machines have only one or two main parts, like a shovel, a screwdriver, a knife, a broom, and even a slide on the playground are all the example of simple machine. And this is the sixth classical simple machine defined by Renaissance research. So for the first is lever, second inclined plane, third wheel and axle, fourth screw, fifth pulley, and the sixth wedge. So we start from number one, lever. Lever. Lever is a bar that pivots or turns on a fixed point. The fixed point is called a fulcrum. As we can see, this is the picture of lever, the structure picture of lever. There's a lot, a resistance arm, the fulcrum in the middle, effort arm, and this is the effort point of lever. So, for example, have you ever played a seesaw? The seesaw is a lever example. The support in the middle, the support is in the middle, like in here, this is the fulcrum. So we jump to the next slide. So how does the lever work? Levers help lift, launch, and balance object. And there are three different types of levers, and each type of it will help you do work in different way. So for the first is a first class lever that change the strength, distance, and direction of the force. And the example of it is bottle opener. As we can see, the structure of the lever is fulcrum is in the middle. Between you input force and output force. And for the second class lever, it changes the strength and distance of your force. And the example is wheelbarrow. The output force or the load being moved is in the middle between your input force and the fulcrum, as we can see in the picture. And for the third class lever, it changes the distance and strength of your force. And for the example is tweezer. Your input force is applied in the middle, while the load or output and where the load and output and fulcrum at the other end. So this is how the lever works. It have three different types of it. And we jump to the second simple machine, that is inclined plane. An inclined plane makes moving and lifting things easier. It is a flat, slanted surface that works like a ramp. As we can see in the right picture, I think. In the right picture, some people is push push a push a push a thing to the higher place with the inclined plane. So you can imagine what if they live by their hand. Yes, if they live by their hand without the inclined plane, how much force that they use. It is so much bigger than we use the inclined plane. And in the below picture, it is how the structure of inclined plane. Um, and for the other example, have you ever seen someone load heavy items into the back of a large truck? Like if you shop to the mini markets and they load their things from the truck. Have you seen it? They may have used a ram or inclined plane to load the truck more easily. And how does it work? An inclined plane helps you raise or lower something gradually. It changes the direction and distance of your force. A hill and a flight of stairs are also inclined planes. Inclined planes may have been used to move heavy stones to help construct ancient structure like the pyramids. So, um, so if we input, if we input some force to push the load, it can be easier to lift up to the higher place than to place the things from the flat from the lower stage to the higher stage. Yes. And this is the third simple machine. The third simple machine is wheel and axle. A wheel and axle is made up of a wheel with a rod attached to it. When the wheel is turned, it turns the axle with it. And the below picture, that is the structure picture of the wheel and axle. They have input force in the axle and then the output force is in the wheel. And for the example is like in the right picture, have you ever turned the around door knob to open the door? When you turn a door knob, you are using a wheel and axle. The knob is a wheel and the rod that is it attached to is an axle. So how does it work? A wheel and axle helps you move a lot, or yourself, or both, by changing the strength or distance of a force. A wheel and axle also change the direction of a force. As you sit on a bike and turn the pedals in a rotary motion in circles, the bike moves forward linearly. A wheel has less contacts. A wheel and axle also make work easier by helping to move things with less friction. A wheel has less contact with the ground than something flat, which eliminates friction from dragging. And the fourth is screw. A screw is a spiral wrapped around the center post. When you turn it, it can lift objects or hold two objects together. And in the below picture, this is a structure of the screw. There is a pitch, thread, and shaft. And for the other example is a cap of the bottle. If it opens, when you turn the cap one way, it opens, but if you turn it the other way, it seals. And that's example of it seals and the bottle shuts. And this is the example of the screw. And next is how this screw works. A screw is used to hold two things together, to raise or to lower something. It changes the distance and the direction of your force. You can apply a little input force over a longer distance to turn a screw in circle, and it moves a shorter distance up or down. And for the other example is apple cider, grape juice, and wine are traditionally made of using a screw press. And we jump to the fifth. The fifth is pulley. A pulley is a wheel that is used with a cord or rope. When you pull it downward, the other end lifts upward. And this is the example. The example is the flag rope, the flagpole, the pulley in the flagpole. So have you ever seen someone hoist a flag up a flagpole? A flag is attached to a rope. At the top of the flagpole is a pulley. When you pull the rope downward, the flag rises up the pole. And how does the pulley work? Pulleys help lift or otherwise move a lot. You can use a pulley to raise a flag up a flagpole by pulling down. Pulleys can make work easier by changing the direction of your force. When you use a pulley to move something up by pulling down, you get extra assistance from gravity. Pulley also change the strength and distance of an input force. Or to lift or move heavier loads, you can use more pulleys, but you also need to add some rope to it. And this is the last, the wedge. A wedge. Wedge is a pair of inclined planes attached back to back. A wedge is used to force things apart. So this is the structure picture of the wedge, as you can see. And this is the other example of the wedge. Yes, have you ever seen someone chop wood with an axe? Yes, the head of an axe is a wedge, as the picture says. And so how does it work? A wedge helps separate two objects, split an object in two, or lift an object, or hold an object in a place. It changes the direction of your force. You can apply an input force in one direction to its base, and it applies an output force in two different directions from its two sides. And a wedge also changes the distance and strength of your force, which are especially helpful because a pushing force turns into a splitting force. Okay, thank you for the attention. Thank you for watching. Hope this will be useful, a little bit useful for you. Thank you, and see you guys.